Advanced English Arabic Learning Session 68. Few of our didactic programs are taught on an interdisciplinary basis with the other health sciences. The school had no one by his name on its roll. It is best to adopt a collaborative approach rather than a didactic or paternalistic manner. Outside, the sky rumbled, and the falling rain did not relent. He was a tycoon and must have been rolling in money. The good Captain Steve helms an excellent ship. She stayed at the helm, alert for tankers. He decided to helm the film himself, chasing off the chubby seagulls. Cavorting means to jump or dance around excitedly. To remain mired forever in confusion and fallacy. The sound of thunder rumbled through my ears and a flash of lightning appeared here and there. Resolution of the conflict was contingent on the signing of a ceasefire agreement. She stopped snapping her gum. How might a contingent fact be known on the basis of nothing empirical? William gasped as the dart pierced his shoulder. The world is brimming with countries that possess chemical, biological and nuclear weapons. The bowls are small but they're filled to the brim with intriguing ingredients. She described a hideous humpbacked creature. The plant will twine round its support. The sharp crags of the highlands. The European model is cheaper than its American twin. The man carried a small satchel on his back full to the brim with goods. She wears an ostentatious diamond ring. Both mercenaries had already finished loading their ammo packs to the brim. Characterized by vulgar or pretentious display. Anyhow, my zucchinis were stuffed to the brim, and I put the lids on it. Edward was apprenticed to a printer. A bird landed on the rim of the building, squawking for a few seconds. The excuses for building those eyesores are gone. They were inspecting my outside paintwork for cracks and flaws. This car has all the earmarks of a classic. I just started flipping through the channels when there was a light tap at the door. He was carefully honing the curved blade. Switch off the TV at night instead of leaving it on standby. The tide of people flows to the center from the suburbs. I have enough me time meeting friends. Many are incarcerated for property offenses. Beethoven was an incarnation of artistic genius. The animal's feet do not impact and damage the soil as cows' hooves do. Gulls are equipped by nature to forage for food. Gullible women's purses are empty. She said the impact of the smash knocked the door off its hinges. They may need a financial bailout or concessions to save the company from bankruptcy. I just love the fact he walked up to me. The statement appears to be a propaganda to lure more families into the war zone. They are slowly easing back into a relationship. My impression is that he thinks I am somewhat of a goof with the kids. He was mugged by 3 men who stole his bike. The company is bootstrapping itself out of a marred financial past. As more time elapsed, my chances of survival would grow progressively slim. We see the creative act as a bootstrap process. I caught a whiff of peachy perfume. When the wife gets restless, the wife gets racy. What has been expressed is not criticism or censure but vilification. You sharpshooting me, punk. This certitude explains to this bigot why he has such a smirk in his photo. He believes George's recent behavior stems from a fundamentalist straitjacket. If you speak slowly, the stammering goes away. Role models show young people how to live with integrity. They gagged about their life problems. She was bound and gagged by robbers in her home. Management of toxicities in the community requires close liaison with the hospital team. A grid of tree-lined streets. He was pining for a new mate. She thinks I am pining away from love. Little money is available to reclaim and cultivate the desert. A quiet saunter down the road. It's crazy how when dogs go feral, they regain all their lost instincts and behavior patterns. In our seeking of mates and providing for offspring, we are driven by the same instincts as other animals. Slum clearance accelerated during last year. Biologists also are interested in the honeybee's social instincts and behavioral traits. He traveled from the hotel in a courtesy car. We should listen to our own instincts, our own intuitions and our own bodies. He addressed her with the deference due to age. Herd instinct sways market sentiment to either the bullish or bearish side. The arts could no longer depend on private patronage. I am regular patron at your restaurant. Such research may someday lead to important medical breakthroughs. A patron is yelling at the waiter. You're such a heartless creep, I don't know why I put up with you. She was determined not to be put down or patronized. He wrote endlessly about his frustrations and miseries. We are determined to starve this small number of localized extremists. She was assiduous in pointing out every feature. A sag in the middle necessitated a third set of wheels. The party could become part of a ruling coalition. Exports are forging ahead while home sales sag. She plans to forge ahead with her career. It forced him to forge ahead like some naive knight doing battle with a windmill. Stockings which sagged at the knees. She let her head sag lower and lower. The staggering bills for maintenance and repair. We collect and collate such information, so it is available for analysis and interpretation. Boiling with soda will reduce your peas to pulp. I'll knock your block off, he said. The company, in retribution, halted the payment of the workers' May salaries. Behind us an impatient driver tooted a horn. Every fiber of her cried out for revenge and retribution. Most companies are forging ahead with business as usual. One of his little idiosyncrasies was always preferring to be in the car first. A collateralized debt obligation, CDO, is a type of structured asset-backed security, ABS. This car is very stylish, has a lot of French flair and is built for living in the city. All the information obtained is being collated. How to cook with a modicum of panache and flair. 2 reviewers collated and independently assessed abstracts. What is the potential impact of not being able to recover data from a tape cartridge? These accounts he collated with his own experience. His statement has a modicum of truth. We collectively felt a modicum of relief. The study of Latin style combined with a modicum of Greek. If a bird is unable to incubate the egg, then put in an incubator. Remember that land once built on, can never be restored to its pristine condition. Some of the chimes resemble the dolls that usually rejoice infants. No words would suffice to delve into such deep delight. A diet rich in fruit sufficed to obtain these nutrients. The company took on extra staff to clear the backlog of work. She had to bypass 2 closer farms and backtrack to them later. It was customary to light huge bonfires in the fields to ward off baneful influences. People opened their windows to see what the commotion was about. They come up with a last-ditch scheme to resurrect a dead hero. She teetered precariously before positioning her feet solidly on the ground. He was showing symptoms of paranoid schizophrenia. He was clean-shaven with a face that had been ravaged by acne when younger. The narration is flooded with wonderfully pithy and insightful commentary. Usually, girls were betrothed by 14 and wed at 17. I am a pragmatic person, although I do have a romantic streak. They concoct relish from corn that is so naturally sweet no extra sugar is needed. Allowing detainees to talk may give them a chance to create alibis. To concoct stories to frustrate questioning attempts. In some ways this notion is distasteful and obscene. No one has the money to invest in philanthropy unless there is some business payback. To live up to his dad's commandment to make money without selling his soul. He yearns to join corporate America as a stock analyst. The commandment to love God is one of the 6 constant commandments. We should obey the commandment of the prophet in order to prosper in the hereafter. God set out commandments to protect the people he loved. They were vulnerable due to their turbulent times and divided nature. Theory predicts that these disks accrete onto the holes because of friction. To make a character exist in a film, you must personify and humanize that character. Dogs are wonderful friends, but why do we try to humanize them? Our material will be oriented toward reducing the stigma associated with having HIV. He fired up the crowd with a potent combination of satire and humor. Some people add a little brandy to the recipe, like gilding the lily. His irreverence for the great and the good. His prospect of death hasn't dulled his appetite for invective. She is beautiful, she doesn't need to gild the lily by wearing makeup. The satire is so laden with invective. I wouldn't put it past her to report me to the boss. I wish there was an annotated version of this book to read. I got a dinner means reservation. Teachers had a duty to impart strong morals to their students. Prix means a complete meal offered at a fixed price. While these definitions impart a flavor of the concept, the nape of your neck is the back of your neck. They also impart knowledge to people newly diagnosed with diabetes. His bras are giving him major props. A man who was haranguing me for money interrupted his tirade to answer his phone. The old aphorism, the child is father to the man. A sense of duty compelled him to answer her questions. Gamification is exciting because it promises to make the hard stuff in life fun. They may compel a witness's attendance at court by issue of a summons. The main purpose of gamification is to combine work with fun. I would rephrase the question. Phygital is the concept of using technology to bridge the physical world with the digital world. The end. Coming next. Session 69.